he felt the strength, the difference. 3 pounds might not sound like a lot for the just a random person, but in boxing, it's a difference, a big difference. You know, those 3 pounds don't make a difference. So for me, the perfect idea would be to get another fight, and I think it'll be a better performance because now he already felt it for the first time. Plus, Vargas is a little bit taller, awkward, difficult with his speed. Medina is very strong, so it will be a great test. So, you know, hopefully we can get something going before the end of the year.
Thank you.
Mark Salinas here with Fight Hype. Chispa Medina is a tough guy. Would that be a perfect fight here in Arizona since he is from Mexico, a Mexican, and now this is Bam's second home? Or would you guys like to have it in Mexico?
Well, look, that's that's Eddie's call. He's a promoter. He's the one that makes those decisions. But I think I would love, you know, if it was a perfect decision for us, I think San Antonio would be perfect. You know, that's I'm pretty sure Bam would love that too.
Robert, and in the fifth round, when you knocked him down, Bam, you seemed to look at Robert and you nodded at each other. That's a sign that you had made the right adjustment.
You know, I signaled to him to feint first, and I always do that. You know, with my fighters, I tell them if you drop them, you need to look at your corner because we have to give them little instructions. You know, most of the time, a lot of fighters make the mistake of just going after and throwing hundreds of punches, and sometimes they gas out. I told them, take your time, pick you the right punches, and you know, make it look nice, make it look good, and you know, he knows that's what I always tell him after, you know, before we go out in the ring and during the breaks also, pick your punches right, make it look good, you know, pivots, do all that because I know he's excellent at that. So yeah, that was the instruction, to feint first and then attack.
Oh, Jesse, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone talk about your power, but you faced a bigger guy today, and you were touched a little bit, you know, compared to the last time he fights. So did you feel his power?
I did. He had a bit more power than I expected, but you know, I was expecting that moving up to 118, a different weight class, more weight, bigger opponent. So I knew what I was going inside the ring, and I knew what to expect. So it was nothing out of the ordinary, but I did feel it.
Hey Bam, congrats again! Another division, another belt. Great performance, man. I know we're all playing matchmaker, so I'll tap the brakes on that a little bit. There was a local legend in the building today, a little guy who essentially set the stage for you guys. Michael Carbajal was here, and I talked to him, and he told me how proud he was of you. How does that feel, man, with somebody who's got a silver medal and the legacy that he's had, to say that he's here to see you and how proud he is of you to do what you're doing, not just in the industry, but specifically here in Phoenix?
Yeah, I think it's badass. I mean, Carbajal, he's a legend, especially in the smaller weight classes. He has some great fights. So the fact that he came here just to see me means a lot to me, and I'm glad that I was able to put on a good show for him.
Jesse, great fight tonight.
Thank you.
So you put down Vargas the first time, right? The next time when you hit him with a straight left, did you know that was going to be it, or did you think he was going to get back up based on the first one?
I knew that was it. I think he laid flat on his back, and that's kind of when I thought to myself that was it. And then I think the ref got to maybe like 7, and I knew that he wasn't getting up.
Bam, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Was there anything missing from your coach's instructions for tonight's fight?
Was there any what?
Missing, like any other instruction that you missed, or all the boxes were checked out?
I mean, yeah, I have the best coach in all of boxing. Robert's the greatest of all time, so anything he says I know is going to work, and all I got to do is listen to him, and that's what I did tonight, and I got the knockout.
Jesse, you've been with Robert your whole career. Just how much of an impact has he had on your career, not just your career, but on your personal life in and out of the ring?
I mean, Robert, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. He not only got me to where I'm at, but he's guiding me outside of the ring as well, making the right decisions, not only for myself, but for my family. He always reminds me to just be financially smart. And as far as coaching, I mean, like I say, he's the best of all time. And I know with him in my corner, no one can beat me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think a good follow-up to that question, now passing it on to Robert, you've trained this kid since he was a young man, and now here he is, a father holding 2 kids of his own. You're going around collecting as much gold as possible. How would you reflect on your journey with Bam, not just as an athlete, but as a man?
Look, the best feeling is when you obviously start with a kid, as a young kid, and make his pro debut with you, and go on, you know. And with Bam, is a lot more special because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy us trying to get him located. You know, we had to buy fights in Mexico. You know, I was you know, forced to do stuff like that because, you know, I tried, but his weight class I also understand, you know. But then look, we got that opportunity to fight for the world title, and that's where that was the best thing that could have happened. You know, Eddie. After that, Eddie was there with us 100%. He's been there also. You know, we're still with him, and we're gonna continue doing this. You know, I think the next few years that Bam has as a boxer are gonna be with Matchroom.
Bam, for you, I know what you said about leaving it to your team. I totally respect that. But as you look at this fight with Inoue, money or legacy, what matters most to you? I mean, you know the money's going to be there, but I'm sure that there's a feeling that you want to win the fight. Did what happened tonight make you feel like my power will carry up and I can win that fight and secure my legacy?
I think so. I mean, I feel like I'm capable of beating anybody that the team puts in front of me. You know, money's very important, but legacy is also important as well. I feel like I can't retire without fighting Inoue, so I need to get that fight before I do retire, and of course beat him and make the money and enjoy it with my family.
Liliana for Chicana Boxing and thegoodfight.com. This question's for Eddie, but it kind of references a question that I asked Bam earlier. He talked also about his, you know, loving to be with Robert, but also with you because you gave him a lot of chances. Knowing that at first a lot of promoters passed on Bam, how does it feel to be like, I have one of the best fighters in the world?
Well, if I'm really honest, we probably passed on Bam in the very early stages. Robert will probably tell you. I mean, Robert, I have to give a shout out to Kevin Rooney as well. And Robert, that's a good manager that isn't going to be denied, because Robert came to us with a light flyweight called Jesse Rodriguez, and he said, look, I've got this kid, he's unbelievably special. And Kevin is a boxing guy through and through. I am as well, but probably Kevin even more so. And he comes to us, he said, look, Robert knows his fighters. What can you? I'm like, Kev, we really don't need a light flyweight. You know, we got Chocolatito at the time, we were working with Estrada, Rungasol, these guys, like, just, you know, and it was like, look, give him a shot, give him a shot. And I think the first one was Fresno, and he looked really good, and then it was just on. And then to be honest with you, like the world title, he was co-main event on that card, and he stepped up 2 divisions on a week's notice to fight Quadras, to beat him to become world champion. So I think since then, we've done an incredible job, but originally, you know, we were kind of, thank God, bullied into it by Robert Garcia because we believe in his eye and he knows talent. So when he tells you you've got a very, very special young fighter, we believed him, but they still took that fight. If they hadn't taken that fight at a week's notice and stepped up 2 divisions, I don't think we'd be here today. Certainly not as quickly. So it's little moments like that where you have to take the leap of faith that you believe in someone. And since then, I mean, you know, even when he beat Quadras, we knew he was special. I didn't know he was this special. And every time, and what he said at the press conference this week was just so true. It's probably 50% of his capabilities is what you're seeing right now. And at 26 years of age, that is a frightening prospect. And that's why, when we talk about the Inoue fight, that's the gamble. We're going to get better. But do we miss the boat if he moves to featherweight and etc.? So, and that's where the offer comes in, the business comes in. But we know Bam's going to get better and better and better and better. So look, you know, we're so lucky to have him on the team. You know, we've got fighters like Bivol and Boots and Bam. And, you know, I actually think this guy's pound for pound #1 at the moment. Honestly, I really do. And he's a pleasure to deal with. So is Robert, because they've never turned down a fight. They've never turned down a fight because they believe in his ability.
Lastly, for Bam, obviously why this fight with Inoue is so big is because they're both cultural. They've expanded into the cultural realm. And you, with your music and your style, talk to me a little bit about how it feels to kind of be popping now into the mainstream with artists and, again, other fighters liking you as their favorite fighter.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I'm a lower weight class fighter and I'm from America as well, so the fact that I'm able to get the exposure that I do, it's honestly crazy just knowing I'm on the pound for pound list, one, and then there's other pound for pound fighters that I'm their favorite fighter, so I mean, it's just crazy where I'm at today, to be honest, but I knew it was gonna happen eventually. It was just, I needed my opportunity, and that's when Eddie Hearn came in. But of course, I had the back of taking promotion since I even turned professional, so with that help, with Eddie's help, Robert's help, I mean, sky's the limit.
Steve Benino, Cal Artist Sports for Fight Hub TV. Bam, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Third division world champion, the first from San Antonio. Just talk to me about how that feels, right? The first ever from your city, and you know the goalpost keeps moving. I think you told me Thursday that at first you just wanted to become world champion. Now it's third division. What's I don't know. Where does the goalpost go now?
I mean, I'm just having fun now. I won my first world title at 22 years old, and I still have so much more to go. So it's just like I'm having fun while I'm doing it, but I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. Like, I'm just going in the ring and doing me.
Can you guys fill us in on the hand wraps? We heard buzz down in the media section, but really didn't get any clarity what was going on with the hand wraps.
Look, I could explain that. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was the padding that I always use in my fights with my fighters. It's just a comfortable padding, but the thing was with the commission. It wasn't even with the opposite corner because they actually said yes, we could use it because we were using it too. They wanted to use it too, but at the end they did end up using it because Francisco, if I'm not mistaken, from the commission here, agreed that we could use it. But I had already wrapped one of his hands with my own gauze that I made the padding, but it's just a different type of padding, just a thicker one that I use just to protect my fighters' hands. That's it, and I've always used it. I actually used it with my other fighters here in Arizona tonight. I had 2 other fights, and they didn't tell me that. That's why I was a little upset because they didn't tell me nothing when I used it with my other 2 fighters. But then they told me I couldn't use it with them when I already had one wrap pretty much finished, and they told me you have to take it off because you're using the wrong padding. It was just something that caught me off guard. Got a little mad because it was, I had Arturo walking out to the ring, and it just got a little out of control. But look, the other corner also said, look, we're okay with that because we're using the same thing. But the commission has the rules. Then Francisco came over. He's like, you guys could use it, no worries. I had already wrapped one hand, so it was no big deal. I still, obviously I do a good job with hand wrapping, but I like that padding because it's soft. It's actually not gonna help me win a fight. It's not gonna help me knock somebody out harder. It's actually a softer padding. It's just to protect my fighter's hands. So I'm glad that Francisco came up and said, look, you guys could use it because it's actually a fair padding. The inspector, all he was doing was following the instructions too. So I apologize to him too because I was a little upset at that time. But he was just following the rules, and that's all that happened. It wasn't a big deal.
Thanks, Coach.